Friends, welcome back to the second part of session 6. As I told you, we discussed about the fact analysis in the first part of this session 6. In the second part, I would like to concentrate on three different tools. One is multiple responses analysis, and then custom tables, and reliability test. These three things I would like to concentrate. So let me go to the SPSS. I'll go to file. I click on open. I click data, and I'll go to my folder, uh, desktop, then SPSS online course, final data set. Then I select reliability. Click open. You will get this data. Fine. See, what is this questionnaire? See, I collected data from 265 respondents. I just asked them 13 questions. All the 13 questions are about a single concept. What's the concept? To what extent the respondents are having information literacy skills with regard to search strategies. For example, or information literacy, how literate they are in identifying and searching the required information. So to measure this one particular concept, to measure this one construct, I have made use of 13 variables. Fine, I asked 13 questions. See, for example, I want to find out how good you are with the computers. So I ask not one question, I ask many questions. Do you know operating system? Do you know MS Office? Do you know MS Excel? Are you good in internet? Do you have email account? Are you a member of social groups? So I ask many questions. And all these questions should be framed in such a manner that these 13 questions which are constructed to test one particular value called information literacy skills or level of satisfaction with regard to e-resources or their happiness in the working atmosphere, something like that, anything, then all the 13 variables are to be related to each other. That means the data what you collect from these respondents with the help of these 13 questions, 13 variables should be able to tell you exactly the information literacy skills of the respondents. So they should be exactly defined the level of satisfaction of the respondents. So you have to find out how reliable these 13 variables are in depicting the factor what you'd like to extract from the questionnaire. Fine. So I want to find out how reliable this questionnaire is. So I want to check the construct validity of my questionnaire. To what extent the variables are related to each other and they come together and they reveal the information literacy skills of the respondents. For example, when I'm talking about your ability in using computers, I ask many questions, as I told you. Suppose if I ask a question like this, whether you are married or not, whether yours is a love marriage or arranged marriage, won't you feel it very awkward? Sir, 8 questions you ask correctly. How can you add these 2 more questions as a part of same set? Sorry, sir, these 2 questions are to be removed. They are not related to the set of variables that will help you to understand my computer ability. The same way, I need to ensure whether all these 13 variables are able to combinedly depict my construct. So I go for reliability tests. How to conduct? Please go to analyze. In analyze, scale. In scale, go to reliability. Okay, once again, analyze, scale, then reliability analysis. Fine. So I want to conduct a reliability test on all the 13 variables because I am using all the 13 variables to depict a particular quality, particular skill, particular competence, particular behavior of the respondents. So I just click Control A, All the variables are selected. I move all things to items box. Now, there are many methods of checking the reliability of the data. The most popular one is alpha. So I go with alpha. And under statistics, you can select few items. I select under descriptives, I select item, scale item for deleter. And inter item, I select correlations. Fine. These three are, I think, sufficient for us. I click continue. I click OK. You can see here, all 265 cases are included. Nothing is excluded. Fine. Let me come back to this table last. It shows you all the 13 variables, the mean value of each and every variable, the standard deviation of each and every variable. Fine. And this table shows the correlation matrix, how the first variable is correlated to each and every variable. Okay, fine. First variable is having correlation of 0.372 to second variable, 0.358 to third variable, 0.185 to fourth variable. So this way, each and every variable's correlation with all the 12 variables are listed in the correlation matrix. Fine. So this will help us to understand to what extent the variables are interrelated or correlated to each other. Fine, let me come down. This tells you what is the scale mean, and the one thing what you need to see in this table is Cronbach alpha item if deleted. So before we analyze this table, let me go up and show you the result of our analysis. Reliability statistics, it says that number of items 13 and Cronbach alpha is 0.819. Please understand, there is a rule that if Cronbach alpha is 0.7 or more than 0.7, you can say that your variables are reliable in showcasing the expected behavior, competence, or skills. So here I can say that whatever 13 variables I have used, they are all reliable. They all come together. They form a scale. What is a scale? Maybe a information literacy scale, or level of satisfaction scale, or happiness scale, or something like that. They form a scale, a single scale that reflects the information literacy skills of the respondents. So now I can assure that the data, what I am going to collect from my respondent is going to be reliable. Fine. Here a question comes here. Sir, shall I have all 13 items, or shall I have to remove one or two? That you can find out by seeing the last column given over here. Cronbach's alpha if item deleted. It tells you if, for example, let us find out a variable which is having the least alpha, this variable. I am able to share novel, latest and new developments of my field of interest students. This variable will have or if you remove this particular variable from the 13 variables, then the total alpha value will become 0.797. Fine. So if you want to remove, you can remove this value. Otherwise, for example, let me go to the highest value, something like 8.07 or 8.18. Fine. If you remove the first item, I can get information quickly or in time. If you remove this particular variable and conduct reliability for the remaining 12 variables, you will get the Cronbach alpha value of 0.818. So the Cronbach value, the reliability scale is increasing. So this way, if by removing one or two items, if your reliability scale will increase so much, you can think of removing those one or two items. Here I am not going to remove because here Cronbach alpha is already 0.819. By removing any one of these items, my Cronbach alpha value will not increase. So I retain all the 13 values, 13 variables, and I'm sure they are reliable and they form a good scale. So this is one test called the reliability test, where you can employ Cronbach alpha method. This is one thing I would like to show you. And secondly, I would like to show these two things using a simple data. One is custom table and another is multiple response analysis. Okay. To do so, let me go to SPSS. I go to File. I click Open. I go to Data. I select Custom Tables and Multiple Response. I select that particular SPSS file. I click open and you get the data here. Here, I asked a question which permit the respondents to answer in multiple forms. For example, there is a question. What are the resources you use to update yourself? A question there. What are the resources? Printed books, printed journals, magazines, newspapers, e-resources, and friends. So I have given 6 resources. One respondent may say yes to 4 resources. One respondent may use 5 resources. One respondent may use all the 6 resources. One respondent may use only one resource. So there is a possibility of getting multiple responses for this particular question. So if your question is permitting you to collect multiple responses and how to prepare a frequency table for these kind of multiple response questions. Fine. That is what I'm going to show now. Let me go to analyze. In analyze, there is something called multiple response. Go to analyze, multiple response, select define variable set. It asks you what are the variables you are going to consider to prepare the frequency table for multiple response question. So let us define the variables. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Using shift and control down arrow, you can select the required number of variables. My question comprises of these 6 resources. I choose and I click and bring all the 6 items under variables. And here you have to decide whether you ask the dichotomous question or category questions. If your data is dichotomous, like yes or no question, you would have given some codings. Yes means 1, no means 0, something like that. For example, where are those codings? If you go to variable view, you can see here, I just given values here. Books, 0 means no, 1 means yes. They have to say. If they are using books, they have to say 1. They're not using, they have to put 0. So I just given a coding here. Okay, fine. So I go to analyze, multiple response, define variable set. Here, I would like to list only those responses who said yes. Okay, I don't want to get the response on how many people don't use books, how many people don't use journals. I want to know how many people are using books, journals, newspapers. So I selected 1. If it is a category like 1, 2, 3, you can select which category you want to display. So since this is a dichotomous question where respondents have to say either yes or no, I select 1 because I want to get only those responses who say yes, I am using books. Fine. I selected 1. If you want to give a name, you can give a name or label also. You can give anything. You can give, and then you select the variables once again because I just went back and came no. Select the variables. Dichotomous 1. Only yes answers I want. Given a name, then add. Okay. Then close. Here you can see whatever name I have given has come here. So one particular variable is defined. One variable set is defined. Close and come back. First step is over. So what the first step? Analyze, go to multiple response and define. That is over. Now I would like to prepare a frequency table for this multiple response set. How to do that? Please go to frequencies, analyze, multiple response, frequencies. Okay. Here, whatever name you have given for that multiple response set that has come here, you move to tables for and give OK. You can see here, it has come. Books are used by 10, journals by 16, magazines by 6, newspaper by 15, e-resources by 5, and friends and peers by 11. Totally 63 responses are there. And you know very well, I collected data only from how many respondents? You can see only 20 respondents. Only 20 respondents have answered these questions. But when you see the output, I could see 63 responses. Means that there is a multiple response system. The same respondent who uses books may also use journals, may also use magazines. So in these kind of questions, whenever you want to prepare a single frequency table for multiple responses, you can make use of this analyze multiple response option. Fine. The second thing I will tell you. And what is the third thing I will like to tell you? See, apart from normal frequency tables and cross tabulations, You can think of generating customized tables for you. When your data is very big, having many variables, you think about constructing your own customized tables. For example, let us take the same example. I have collected data from 20 respondents on a multiple response questions, yes or no. And here there is another variable by name gender. I have just given a male and female coding. Let us see how we can prepare a custom tables. So go to analyze. In analyze, there's an option called a custom tables. So analyze, custom tables. There again custom tables. You get this particular box where you can select which variable should appear in the rows and which variable should appear in the columns, and what kind of statistics, either percentage or count or mean or median, standard deviation, what kind of statistics you want to display on the tables. Fine. Here I select gender and I drag and drop it here. Drag and drop. I select it, I bring it, I place it over here. This way we can move it here. Now gender is taken to the column. Fine. Once you have selected an item to be appearing on the column, here you can decide what kind of summary statistics you want. I click on summary statistics. For example, I want maybe column percentage. Click OK. Already count is a frequency count is there. Now I selected column percentage. Apply to selection. You can see here percentage has come automatically. Now let me select all these variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I select all the variables. I drag and drop them in the row. You can see now yes, no, yes, no, yes come in the rows. Now for this particular row items, I select categories and totals. I say that I want total. Fine. If you want yes to appear first, just click here. You can select this and click up arrow. Yes will come first. No will come second. Fine. Here total option is there. Click apply. And you can see here total has come. Total has come for all the 6 resources. And you can see the percentage here. I can see give OK. So you can here in a single table, you can see all the 6 items. And every item has got yes, no, and total item. And each item has got count and percentage both for male and female. Instead of doing this, if you go to analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies, you'll get 6 tables. For book separate table, journal separate table, magazine separate table, you'll get 6 different tables. But if you're making use of custom table option, this kind of big tables with the columns, rows, column percentages, row percentages, column total, row total. Here only row total is there, column total is not there. So if you want again a total, you can think of it. Let me close this window. Go to analyze, custom table, again custom table. Here I want the total to appear after male and female. So select gender. Here summary statistics. Okay. Categories and total. Click total. Apply. And you can see here, yeah, an extra column has come here called the total. Okay. You can see here male 6, female 6, total 10. This we can have a column total, column count, row total, row count. And even if you want to conduct some statistical tests like chi-square or independent sample test, you can do that also from here. Fine. So that is also possible in custom table. For example, analyze, custom table, the table is there. For this table, I want to conduct a chi-square. I want to see whether there is an association between the gender of the respondents and whether they prefer books or not, whether they prefer journals or not, to get the required information. So here, test statistics, you can go here and you can select test of independence, chi-square you can select, you can say OK, you can see the result. The descriptive statistics, just below that, you can see the result of chi-square. So this way, custom tables can be created very easily in SPSS. So in the 6th session of today, we discussed about factor analysis and we talked about multiple response analysis. We had seen how to prepare custom tables and how to check the reliability of the variables what I have collected in the form of questions from the respondents. So this is what we have got for today's session. So I'm happy that I have been traveling with you for the last 2.5 days, talking to you about many things, starting from simple independent sample test, then such kind of one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, correlation, regression, multiple regression, then non-parametric test, and at last today, I was happy to have this session too. So thank you so much, my dear friends. If there is any clarification or any doubt you need, you can kindly mail me at this particular mail ID. I will be able to give you the answers. So thank you so much. Take it very easily. SP is very, very easy to learn if you understand the concepts. So understand the concepts and make use of SPSS. Practice, only practice will make you perfect. If you keep on practicing, you'll become the one of the most widely used users of SPSS. My best wishes. Thank you so much.